All right.
Hey everybody, what's good? So we want to welcome you to another podcast of Chit Chat Chew Show. Again, we want to welcome you to our podcast, Chit Chat Chew Show, every Monday from the new time is 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, you might be behind us, or any other time zone that you're in. Just check your time zone. But definitely check us out. Tune in. We're going to have another good episode as always. Sometimes it might hit a nerve, make you laugh, make you angry, make you think. But whatever it is, we got you on the Chit Chat Chew Show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jade.
And I'm your other co-host, Uno, for the Chit Chat Chew Show.
Monday, December 18th, 7 to 9 p.m. So sit back, enjoy a wine, a cup of tea, or a cup of coffee, and get into this conversation with us, this dialogue. So this evening, we're going to be talking about, let me get it together for you guys. We're going to be talking about...
Want me to drop it real quick?
I found it, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So tonight we're going to be talking or discussing the Hollywood sex scandals.
And rape culture.
Sex rape culture.
That's what's going on in Hollywood right now.
Yes.
It's a culture. It's a normality in Hollywood.
I mean, more men have been coming out. Well, they personally haven't been coming out, but as far as industry and Hollywood, more men, accusations. I feel two ways about it. It could possibly be some accusations, but then on the other side of my brain, I really believe that a lot of these men have seriously harassed, raped, molested,
all kinds of crazy mess, man.
Pulled out their penis in front of these women.
Groping people.
Whether
it's woman or man.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Right, because there's
no preference in that world.
Exactly. So there's allocations of these men doing it to both other men and women.
Specifically women. Definitely.
And they've been doing it to the women for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I know some people may be like, well, why have they just come out now? And so God. I can say from a personal experience from being molested from the age of 3 up to 7 or 8, as well as being raped as well, unless you have experienced that trauma, you cannot, you will never understand. Yes, there are women or men who's been traumatized. Yes, there are those individuals that can come out right away, but then there are individuals that live with that trauma. They're terrified because, especially if you're living in that world, you know, and you just don't want to expose yourself. You may be embarrassed. You may be in fear, scared, you might feel like, you know, you're going to lose all that fortune that you have if you put these well-known people, expose them. But at some point in time, all I can say, because I'm certainly not judging them, all I can say is when it's that time for you to expose it, do it. Of course, we know also on another flip side that you do have some women that lie.
That's true. That's true.
And make it bad for these men. So it's all across the board, different reasons. But I mean, you have these people who we're going to be talking about that are, stepping down from their positions,
losing their endorsements with films or TV shows.
Exactly. Losing their jobs.
But I mean, I don't feel sorry for them. And I believe they're guilty of everything they've done. Everything.
Absolutely. So,
even in the worst part about it, we have our own brothers who's doing the same sick mess to women. And we're going to drop a couple names. Okay? But there's one that we know, I'm sure, that is definitely capable of doing something like that. And we talked about this, Saturday or Sunday? Of that famous black entertainer, mogul.
Yes. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. So, people, there's lies in the media and there's truths. Mm-hmm. So when there's truth, as hard as it is to hear, you got to face it.
That's true.
It's reality, because it is happening out here, and it's been happening for years. So it doesn't make them no better. When you see these people, a lot of us have looked up to, and they're very prominent into that world.
They're very charming and magnifying.
And all of that, yes.
And I know people go into celebrity obsession and fascination, and they idolize these people, and they just can't see or believe that these people are capable of these heinous acts. But believe it, people, they are capable. They're human just like me and you. There's people out here all the time, regular day folk is out here raping women, and there's men raping men too. Women doing the same thing. They're just as bad. Because that's going on in Hollywood too. It's just so spoken of in Hollywood.
Definitely, you're right. Definitely, these women are out here molesting men, raping men, as well as molesting and raping and having sex with men and women from when they were underage. Okay, so it happens, but like you said, Uno, with the women, they don't put it out there like that.
It's like a double standard, because honestly, people can't fathom a woman taking advantage of a man. Like, how is that even possible? Is that even believable? Like, if anything, the common way of how that situation would go, like, okay, the man, they can definitely see a man raping a woman, but a woman raping a man, and he's physically stronger than her, and he couldn't even handle her at all. So yeah, people can't see it. It's just not a normal thing. It's like taboo. But best believe women do it too. And I feel like the treatment that these celebrity men that's getting, the treatment of these sexual harassment cases and how it's handled in the media and through the legal way, the same way they get treated, exactly how the women should get treated too. If she's doing wrong to somebody, if she's harming them or sexually abusing them, they should get the same punishment as the man.
Absolutely. I totally agree. They should not be excluded. So I definitely agree with you on that. So I guess we'll just jump right into it.
Harvey Weinstein would be the first person we jump into, because this is what catapulted all this nonsense anyway. So he would be the first we should start with. That's when the floodgates opened. Once his story came out, then all of a sudden you saw a floodgate of other stories come out about different celeb men, either sexually harassing or assaulting or actually raping somebody. So,
well then, go ahead.
Oh, you got your.
My list is different, but let's start with Harvey first.
Okay.
Let's start with Harvey.
All right. So, if you're not up to speed, if you've not been paying attention, this is a story about Harvey Weinstein, and he's been doing this for years. And this is coming from New York Times. Okay. Of course, we know Harvey Weinstein is fired from his jobs after sexual harassment. He did more than that, but so it says the Weinstein Company fired its co-founder Harvey Weinstein on Sunday after a New York Times investigation uncovered allegations that he had engaged in rampant sexual harassment, dealing a stunning blow to a producer known for shaping American film and championing liberal causes. The statement announcing the firing said the decision had been made in light of new information about misconduct by Harvey Weinstein that has emerged in the past few days. In an interview, Lance Marov, one of the company's 4 board members, said it had been brought to their attention that Mr. Weinstein had violated the company's code of conduct at some point in the past week, but he would not specify what the violation was. Mr. Marov said Mr. Weinstein had been notified of his termination by email Sunday evening. The action was taken by Mr. Marov, Bob Weinstein, Mr. Weinstein's brother, Richard Konigsberg, and Tarak Ben Ammar. A fifth board member, Paul Tudor Jones, resigned on Saturday. The firing was an escalation from Friday when 1/3 of the company's all-male board resigned and 4 members who remained announced that Mr. Weinstein would take a leave of absence while an outside lawyer investigated the allegations. So the investigation includes here is saying that Times investigation chronicled a history of sexual harassment allegations against Harvey Weinstein and settlements that he paid over 3 decades. 3 fucking decades. Lord have mercy. His company then fired him. So, Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, Lupita Nyong'o are among more than 24 women who have come forward to tell their stories. Here's a brief look back at the major elements of the continuing history. So, but they have they highlighted the names of these actresses, and they highlighted a part where it says 24 women. So if you go to this link, you can check it out. But I'm not gonna click on that and read into it. So, but I'm gonna post it. I'll make sure to post these links up. Me and Jay are reading from, so you guys can check it out. So, Harvey Weinstein could not be reached for comment, and Bob Weinstein declined to comment. Together, Harvey Weinstein and his brother own 42% of the company. Mr. Marov said it was not yet clear what would happen with his share. The sexual harassment allegations are covered by the Times stretched back decades. It came from actresses as well as former employees of the Weinstein Company and Miramax, the previous company that Mr. Weinstein and his brother founded. They sent the company scrambling to do damage control, with Bob Weinstein outlining the fallout in an email to Mr. Weinstein's legal advisor, Lisa Bloom. The Democrats are giving Harvey's money back, he wrote on Friday morning, referring to politicians who were unloading political contributions they had received from Mr. Weinstein to women's groups. Women's rights organizations are offended by his actions and are now calling for him to be fired. Actors and actresses in the community are appalled at Harvey and have gone on the record as such. The situation was complicated by Harvey Weinstein's response to Times article, swinging wildly between contrition and attack. In a statement on Thursday, he acknowledged that the way I've behaved with colleagues in the past has caused a lot of pain, and I sincerely apologize for it, while likening his personal flaws to those of the rapper Jay-Z, who apologized on his most recent album to his wife Beyonce for cheating on her. Mr. Weinstein said he was planning to get help, but within hours he had threatened to sue the Times for defamation. And in her own statement released on Thursday, Ms. Bloom said Mr. Weinstein denies many of the accusations as patently false. Ms. Bloom told the company's board on Thursday that Mr. Weinstein was planning to follow through with a lawsuit and that board members could expect more and different reporting that would include photos of several other accusers and very friendly poses with Harvey after his alleged misconduct. So, let's see. Okay. Well, I'm not going to read no more, but you pretty much got an idea of what's going on with Harvey Weinstein, all these sexual allegations, the actions that was taken, and who was affected by it. And I will drop a couple names of the women that actually came out publicly in the news media to tell their story. Not the actors or actresses, but either personal assistants or women who was trying to get into the business and encounter him where they have to sleep with him or have some kind of sexual relationship with him to get to the top. So I will probably mention maybe 1 or 2 names later on. I have to pull up the article, but if you want to read more of this story in New York Times, please do check it out because it's a long ass article. And the one thing I wanted to say, the part where the actors and the actress was saying that they're appalled at what he did, but okay, my thing with them is, how the fuck you gonna be appalled when you knew all this? You knew this was going on all along. I'm sure they're appalled, but I'm saying it took new reports to the police and then getting exposed in the media for them to actually finally say how they feel when they been wanting to say this for the longest, but the only reason why actors and actresses didn't say shit is because they didn't want to compromise their careers or be ostracized for the comments that they make about Harvey Weinstein because he's a powerful man in the industry. Because this is not a secret in that world at all about Harvey Weinstein. It was some award show they had. I don't know if that was the Golden Globes or the Oscars. One of those white comedians, I need to pull up that article. He had a little joke about Harvey Weinstein at one of these award shows, and there was some people that actually kind of chuckled because not so much that it was funny because they laughed because like, yeah, we know about this guy. So it's just sad that it had to come out now, but I guess, I guess everything takes time. What's done in the dark shall come to the light eventually, so that's how I see that. And I'm glad all that shit getting exposed. They need to be exposed for who they really is.
Well, again, I mean, I'm not here to be the judge or the juror and say why they waited so late. As you just stated, that maybe they thought they were going to be ostracized. Maybe they thought that their careers would end.
Yeah, I get it. I definitely get it.
Who knows? Because we're really not in their heads and we weren't there. But, like you just said, what's done in the dark is now coming out into the light. He's being exposed as well as so many other people, men, even for those that did not participate in it but still knew, you're just as guilty as the people that violated these women.
That's what I was trying to get to. Right. Though I do understand what you were saying, like I elaborated on it, that I understand certain reasons why they didn't want to speak out, but at the same time, that's kind of like you do have to, it's like you is kind of responsible in a way for not letting someone know, or at least try to help them if they was in that uncomfortable and compromised situation to save your own ass.
I mean, I think that's what a lot of those people that did know that they were doing. They were saving their own butts. They probably was thinking, oh, well, maybe I'm going to be ostracized. All of this fortune and fame and lights and action is going to be taken away.
My fast lifestyle, I won't have it no more.
Right.
I'm going to be blackballed.
Exactly.
I won't be able to get a job no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I believe that.
So, one of the ladies, I have a list which I'm not going to read the whole list because it's 66 pages that I'm not going to read.
You mean
but
of accusers?
Of people, of women who have been raped or any form of sexual advantages.
You know that list grew, right? It's like 80
I'm sure this list grew. This is from people.com. So I'm
crazy.
sure
That's why I'm laughing.
that this list,
crazy.
I'm sure the list had grew. So just kind of I'll skip through a few. And at you guys' times, you can definitely, the articles that will be posted up, you can if you choose to. But I think it's just for the sake of you knowing, just making yourself familiar, because these are important articles. There are real facts in them. Everything is not fake or not, a lie. There's a lot of truth and a lot of truth in it. So again, I'm reading from people.com. And one of the individuals is Salma Hayek.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
She says, in an emotional New York Times, this 51-year-old actress detailed her experiences with Weinstein through the course of the making of the 2002 Miramax the Frida movie, claiming, among other things, that he had once threatened to kill her when she refused his advances. The range of his persuasion tactics went from sweet-talking me to that one time when, In an attack of fury, he said the terrifying words, "I will kill you. Don't, I can't," she claimed. Another individual is Sean Young. Blade Runner actress Sean Young claims the movie Mughal exposed himself to her in the early 1990s while working on Love Crimes, which was produced by Miramax. I personally experienced him pulling his you-know-what out of his pants to shock me, she said on the Dudley and Bob with Matt show podcast Thursday. My basic response was, "You know, Harvey, I really don't think you should be pulling that thing out. It's not very pretty." The actress said she never worked with Weinstein again after the alleged incident.
Why are you alleged? But okay.
Britt Marling, the star and creator of Netflix series The OA, wrote a powerful first-person essay for The Atlantic, detailing an alleged encounter she had with Weinstein after the Sundance Film Festival in 2011, where Marling had co-written and starred in 2 films. In the piece, Marling claimed Weinstein asked if she wanted to shower together and detailed her fear of offending Weinstein, who could anoint or destroy me. In her essay, Marling also noted how Weinstein's alleged sexual misconduct with numerous women should be thought of through the lens of the economics of consent. Weinstein was a gatekeeper who could give actresses a career that would sustain their lives and the livelihood of their families, she wrote. He could also give them fame, which is one of few ways for women to gain some semblance of power and voice inside a patriotic world. They knew it. He knew it. Weinstein could also ensure that these women would never work again if they humiliated him. That's not just artistic or emotional exile. That's also economic exile. So those are just a few. Again, the list has grew, but this is 66 pages, which I will not go all through because that will take up too much of the show, because we want to definitely get into other individuals who quote unquote have alleged did some trauma to these women and men. But I'll read one more and then I will let that go. Another person, Dominique Hewitt. In a lawsuit, actress Dominique Hewitt claims she first met the disgraced Mughal at the bar of the Peninsula Hotel.
Oh, Peninsula.
Peninsula,
Oh,
excuse
okay.
me, people. Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills in November 2010. She says the producer told her he could help with her acting career and asked to see her breasts, saying it would be beneficial for her career if she did not have implants. The court documents claim that Weinstein asked Hewitt up to his room for what he said would be a business meeting before disappearing into the bathroom and returning in only a robe. She then says that he began demanding a massage, which she performed for him after some initial back and forth. Weinstein asked if he could perform oral sex on her and would not take no for an answer, the court documents state. Weinstein insisted, and the plaintiff froze as Weinstein removed her clothing and performed oral sex on her for several minutes. It is claimed in the document. Hewitt's lawsuit also targets the Weinstein Company because she claims that prior to the 2010 incident, the company had actual knowledge of Weinstein's repeated acts of sexual misconduct with women. In particular, the suit claims TWC was aware of Weinstein's pattern of using his power to coerce and force young actresses to engage in sexual acts with him.
Okay.
So he got a lot going on with his old self. It doesn't. I'm not taking light of this, but it's
fucked up.
It's really. This is just horrific. And again, I am not the judge or the juror. Words can't, like, when I read this, from the past to present, like, it hits the nerve just from being a survivor of being molested, physical abuse and trauma, and being raped myself. Like, this kind of triggers a nerve from me. So, I'm going to get through it the best that I know how, because you could have paid for this. It's so much free. There's women that's out here that's willing to pay you for it. For you to
if you ugly and disgusting looking, this if you pay them, they would happily do it.
Yeah, it's
not that deep.
It's an addiction. It's power.
That's what it is.
Power. And he knows, as well as a lot of other individuals know and knew, that they have their power, right, and they abuse it.
Yeah.
They abuse it. Yeah. And unfortunately, these young ladies coming into it, they're young. They want to get into the industry. They get into Hollywood, this fame, this attention, this money. And like you and I say, Uno, all money is not good money.
Nope.
And will you really, are you really willing to sell your soul
for it?
And are they not knowing to the full extent what they're getting into? Maybe some do and they don't care. Then maybe you might have some
dude who really want a career and will actually go through with it for a while, and then they just get tired and sick of it, and they just start to break down and don't want to do it no more.
So it's so much with it. It really is. And it's just a shame, because as you read, or as I read, the money, not only to have that financial freedom for themselves, but for their families.
Right.
And not only do I think that they can destroy, of course, these women, but they can destroy these families as well. Come on, this power that this man has had in that
for
industry,
3 decades. That's a long time.
And I wouldn't put it past him with him making that threat, "I will kill you." I believe that if he didn't, he certainly can have someone kill them.
Oh yeah, did you? I don't know if you caught. I don't know.
Have someone, kill them. I'm sorry, I had to think about if I was kind of saying that right.
You said it right, but I believe it because I don't know if people have kept up, but they did have some leaked audio of him. One of the accusers, he was in the room with one of the accusers, and he said some pretty messed up stuff to her just to get in her pants, and she just wasn't with that, and she wasn't gonna sacrifice herself to get ahead. It just didn't feel right, but it actually leaked out. So the news media has played it for like a month. I don't know if people heard it or not, but I don't know if you heard it either.
And what was it?
It was some leaked audio where he making sexual advances at one of his accusers. They have recording of it.
I'm not going to say I haven't. But
it's out there. I'm going to have to shoot it to you so you can listen to it.
And how, I said I was going to say,
the way he was so aggressive and forceful, and then a lot of them have consistent stories of him wanting to hold them hostages in the crib and don't want them to go nowhere, and they trying to figure out ways to get out of there without being harmed. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
And for these men that knew, especially this one, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah.
He says in an interview published by the New York Times, the director admitted that he knew about some of the sexual assault allegations leveled against Weinstein long before the producer became embroiled in the recent controversy. He revealed to the paper that his ex-girlfriend Myra Sorvino had once told him about her alleged incident with the movie Mughal, and that he also knew about the settlement Weinstein had reportedly reached with Rose McGowan.
That's the girl on Charmed.
McGowan. Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, Rose McGowan she been speaking out. People think she just been speaking out now. She been trying to speak out about this, not against Harvey Weinstein, but quite a few other people. She always been very vocal about it and unapologetic with it.
Right.
And I have to respect that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we got some music going on. Jam.
We working. We getting it in. Yes.
Well, all right. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy though.
And I see that this guy, Skeet Ulrich.
He sound familiar.
He said, most people knew the actor who worked with Weinstein on Scream told Cosmopolitan about the producer's alleged behavior. I had dinner with someone who is one of the most famous women on the planet. I won't say who it is, who has not come out, who told me similar things. There is nothing you can do. I mean, what am I going to do? I can't step up, certainly then, on allegations. Honestly, and I think it's what most people faced. How do you cut your livelihood from a very powerful corporation on something that you don't know what the facts are?
And a lot of them feel the same way he feel. They're not going to risk their careers or financial situation for sexual allegations because the odds are against them from jump. So they considering all that. It's still fucked up though. Like, damn, it's like you kind of accomplished to these women's misfortunes here, you know.
Right. So, yeah, it's several people here, 66. You can read that. The list has definitely increased. But, yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
I'm going to name some known ones that y'all, I'm sure, know. Asia Argento, Rosanna Arquette, Kate Beckinsale, of course, off the top, Angelina Jolie, Gwyneth Paltrow, Lupita Nyong'o, Ashley Judd. Let's see. Who we got? They got a lot. Oh, Angie Everhart. I forgot about her. Claire Forlani. Who else they got on this list? They got a lot of people on this list. Of course, you just said Selma Hayek. Lena Headey, Natasha Henstridge, Lauren Holly. Let's see. Heather Kerr, Mia Kushner. If y'all don't know who that is, she played in the L Word as Jenny, the character. Let's see. Who else they got on this list here? Of course, me and you just said Rose McGowan.
Blake Lively, did you say her?
Oh, yeah. She might be on this list, though. I ain't get to her name yet. It's so many. Good God Almighty. This is ridiculous. This dude. Jesus Christ. And there's so many. Of course, then you got people who are not known. They're just regular people. Or there's aspiring actors who are trying to get in. They have their names here, too. Listed as the accusers who went through their sexual attack from Harvey Weinstein, which I have the 6 women named here. They have a story through LA Times, but do you want to read some first before I jump into it?
Well, Viola Davis was making a comment. She was stating that she was a victim. Viola Davis, who is the Oscar winner, released a statement on October 10th about Weinstein, calling him a predator and telling victims of sexual harassment and assault that she is there for them. The predator wants your silence. It feeds their power, entitlement, and they want it to feed your shame, she said in the statement. Our bodies are not the spoils of war, a trophy to be collected to fuel your ego. It's ours. It doesn't belong to you. And when you take it without permission, it destroys like a virus. To the predators, Weinstein, the stranger, the relative, the boyfriend, I say to you, you can choose your sin, but you don't get to choose the consequences. To the victims, I see you, I believe you, and I'm listening.
That's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at some point, when are you gonna start making it about yourself? I mean, I get that you have to make money, you gotta survive. I get all that, but at some point, you gotta grow a fucking backbone. I mean, there's worse things that's happened in life. Hell, we all gonna struggle, but you gotta stand up for what's right. If you don't stand up, you fall for anything. I mean, and what you said about what Steve Ulrich said, and how their dilemma of making that decision to even say anything, because in actuality, not. And he knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing, including Quentin Tarantino. But I just told you in the beginning, most people in Hollywood knew about that. It was no secret.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not the only one doing it. Not Harvey Weinstein.
Oh no, not at all.
What's that director's name? He had a relationship with his daughter. I know he was
Woody Allen.
Yeah, Woody Allen. Ain't she Asian? The little girl. Yeah, him. He's one. Woody Allen.
So he's definitely standing by Harvey.
Of course, they have a good relationship.
Yes, they do.
Just
right.
like Harvey Weinstein got a relationship with the Clintons and Hillary. Well, Hillary and Bill Clinton. Podestas. The list goes on. But we mentioned Harvey Weinstein when we had that show one time about Pizzagate.
Right.
So we mentioned him a while back.
Exactly.
So it was a surprise when this came out. At all. Not at all.
He has another supporter, Donna Karen.
Oh, good.
A longtime friend of Weinstein.
Of course.
Karen initially seemed to stand up for Weinstein in a video interview on Daily Mail, where she said that women might be asking, quote unquote, asking for the treatment Weinstein is being accused of. You look at everything all over the world today and how women are dressing and what they are asking by just presenting themselves the way they do. What are they asking for? Trouble, she said. However, later on, she said her statements had been taken out of context and apologized to anyone she may have offended. My statements were taken out of context and do not represent how I feel about the current situation concerning Harvey Weinstein, she said. I believe that sexual harassment is not acceptable, and this is an issue that must be addressed once and for all, regardless of the individual. I am truly sorry to anyone that I offended and everyone that has ever been a victim. I don't believe a damn thing she said. What she said was what she meant.
She should have just been real about it.
That's what she meant with her old need to sit down ass. Because let me tell you something, being a rape victim, I was definitely dressed appropriately and still got raped and robbed. How about that? Raped and robbed.
It's just some men don't know how to control.
They don't know how to control.
They damn dick. That's what that is.
And secondly, being molested at from 3 to 7 or 8, it's 8, I believe. I was appropriately dressed. So don't give me that bullshit all the time about is how you dressed. No. Now I understand that there are some women that do dress in certain situations. I get that, but that still to me does not constitute give a man to rape or sexually harass a woman. That's my thought on it. Now some people might be like, I might be wrong, but that's your opinion, but this is my opinion.
But if you can't control your sexual hormones, then you need to figure out a way to channel that shit. If it's that deep for you to take a woman's, take her sense of, like, herself, like taking her, raping her. If you gotta take it through sex, then yeah, you need to reevaluate your whole life, because with this situation now, what Donna Karen said. Now, another person that kind of said something a little similar to her was Pamela Anderson. Like how she was saying when the women went to his pad, I guess his nice little place or whatever, they was kind of asking for it, or why would they go there knowing, what the risk could be. I mean, I kind of understand, but it's like, I mean, they never would have thought, I guess, he would do something like that, although they kind of had a bad feeling about it, but I guess in the moment people don't think about it. And then, like I said again, like you and me said, people want their careers, they're trying to pursue something they want to do, and they're just trying to get ahead. Now if they go through with it, that's on them. But I don't know, it's just a tricky thing, man. It's really tricky. I see it from all sides. Now, asking for rape, no. I mean, just because you dress in a skimpy dress or skirt, that don't mean shit. Because like you said, you would dress appropriately and still got raped. That's the one thing I don't agree with.
And as a child, that's not an excuse, because I'm sure my mother had me dressed appropriately at that young age. So there is no excuse. You again can buy that. Like if you want to buy the sex, there's plenty of women that's out here that
give it up.
They give it up freely. Heck,
like, throw the legs up and everything. Especially paying them good money. What else you want to do? Bend my ass? I mean, I'm just saying.
There's women out here that do it,
right? And
they happy to oblige,
right?
But
they ain't think about your looks or none of that.
No,
they just trying to get the money.
Exactly. So there's a lot of. It's a touch and go with me with this.
Right.
So
it's pretty sensitive, man. So
it's a very sensitive.
The women shouldn't have went there, man. It's just dangerous anyway. In that world, man, you really gotta be mindful, man. Because these men, you don't know what kind of mind they got. Or they get some sick shit up in their head. And you don't want to put yourself in that danger.
Right. And it's just a shame, because they're really thinking that this high power, influential, excuse me, the tongue tied thing. I talk all day, so please forgive me. High power man that's been in this industry for a very long time, and you're thinking that he's a good resource, you think he's a good person, and that he's going to help you along the way. They couldn't even imagine that he would take it
that far.
And then you're in a situation where he's telling you, if you don't let me perform these sexual acts, I'm going to kill you right now. And so,
and he got the resources,
and he has the resources to do it, and you can't get out of it. You literally have to allow him to do.
And some women succumb to it,
right? And they succumb to it, fear their life, or fear their family's life, because he could say, "I will kill your family if you don't." And again, like you said, he has the means to do it. Right. So what again, before you start judging, put yourself in that situation.
They're not going.
They're not
going to listen. They're like,
not.
Oh, well, they should have this and they should have that. Okay.
Everybody just seem like they so quick to want to point a finger and just be so judgmental. The way that this world is set up is so sad. But until it happens, like we always say in certain shows, until it happened to you and you can really identify, you just don't know. Okay, yeah, they probably could afford him. Then what? He gonna beat him, and then really take it.
Yeah, true. They won't have a job in that field again,
right?
Ever.
so
can get it.
Yeah. What would you do?
That's true.
You know, so yeah, it's
right. It's just really hurting.
Just right along with his other homies
and
that's out here doing stuff.
The actress Meryl Streep, she hasn't been saying much because she's a good friend with Harvey Weinstein.
Mm-hmm.
She know what the hell going on, but see, I mean, Harvey Weinstein don't. See, I mean, he doesn't prey on older women. That's not his twist. He's not into older women.
He's attracted.
He like him young.
He like him young
and pretty.
Right. Black or white.
So of course Meryl Streep gonna say the things she say because if she was younger, it'd be a whole different tune.
She's old. He want to do it.
No, not at all.
He don't want no old meat. He wants some young, fresh meat.
Right. Exactly.
And he may have tried to hit on her. We don't know. Maybe.
But he's really not into.
But
he's really.
But I'm saying maybe when she was young, or are they in the same age bracket?
She might be a little older.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to double check their ages to see how far apart they are, far as age difference. And I know she's been in the game for a long time. She has. She's been.
I
think she's been there longer than Harvey.
Probably an old Donna Karen, and who else is taking up for him? It's somebody else. I just clicked off of it, but it's in people.com.
Pamela Anderson is one. She pretty much said it how Donna Karen said it. It wasn't really no difference in the explanation or their view of it.
Right. So there are a lot of people. It just happened to come off that it's a lot of older people that is definitely in his corner and on his side. It's kind of like a 50-50 because there are some that are in or about that age range where he's at that they don't condone what he's done. They are, but it's just sad. And then from him sparking it off, he didn't. Well, we know Bill Cosby, and that's another issue.
We're gonna get into that too.
Yeah, that's another one.
Y'all, black people, please cut it out with this racial thing right now. Please cut it out. Because all this is coming out because it's a distraction from Bill Cosby. Distract us because of Bill Cosby's case and they trying to bring the man down. No, he brought himself down. I've told you motherfuckers a million times. Oh. I'm just saying. Like, I don't want to keep hearing that. Like, I mean, I do understand that in certain cases there is racial discrimination or favor certain things in Hollywood as far as black and white. I get that, and I do see it going a lot. But at the same time, Bill Cosby's case is no different than Harvey Weinstein. I'm talking about right now in the moment. It's no different than Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey. We're going to get into him too. Or Louis C.K. or Russell Simmons or anybody else. They're all suffering a major blow personally and financially, just like Bill Cosby. There's no difference. It's all about morale right now. And right and wrong. That's it. Now, maybe at one point it used to be a race thing because they did try to take Bill Cosby for certain reasons. But now that Babylon is falling, the veil is lifting, which we in the times of Revelation is all coming out. There's a reason why it's coming out. You gotta ask yourself, what did Harvey Weinstein do for this to even come out the way it did? Do people ask these questions? You're always looking at a racial thing. Look beyond that. There's way more to it than Bill Cosby. He's just a little bit of piece of the reason. He's not even the whole reason.
Not at all. Not at all. We gotta look at the bigger picture.
Right. Something you want to say?
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So just kind of to, this is coming from NBCnews.com. Again, NBCnews.com. There is a growing list of men accused of sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, assault, or both, in the wake of Weinstein's scandal. So, one person is Morgan Spurlock. Director Morgan Spurlock admitted on December 13th to a history of sexual misconduct that reaches back to his college days. Declaring, "I am part of the problem," the 47-year-old filmmaker, who won acclaim for his 2004 documentary Supersize Me, wrote in a blog post that he was accused of rape in college, settled a sexual harassment lawsuit, and has cheated on all of his romantic partners, including both of his wives. The post was shared from Spurlock's verified Twitter account. He said, "Coming clean is necessary, in part because of the anxiety he faced. As I sit around watching hero after hero, man after man, fall at the realization of their past indiscretions, I don't sit by and wonder who will be next. I wonder, when will they come for me?" So that's one person. Director Morgan Spurlock.
Okay. And that's the only person you
No.
Or you gonna keep going a little bit? You got a few more? Got a few more?
Oh, I have a list, but a few more I respect. The next person.
Of course, you're not gonna get a whole list. That's too much.
Next person, Tavis Smiley. I'm gonna say his name again. Tavis Smiley.
Some people don't believe he did it.
Number of accusers, multiple. PBS announced on December 13th it was suspending distribution of the late-night talk show Tavis Smiley following troubling allegations of misconduct against the longtime public television and radio host. The outside investigation found that Smiley had engaged in sexual relationships with multiple women, according to Variety, which first reported the news. They said witnesses had told the investigators that Smiley was a verbally abusive and threatening boss and made some employees feel their success was tied to a sexual relationship with him, Variety reported. NBC News has not independently verified those accounts. Smiley denied the allegations in a video and statement posted to Facebook. "I have never groped, inappropriately exposed myself, or coerced any colleague in the workplace ever in my 30-year career," Smiley said in a video. So that was Tavis Smiley. Now, this is a more recent one. I'm real iffy on this one.
Me too.
This particular one.
That's the only one I'm actually iffy on, to be honest with
because,
you. Because, I don't know what to think, to be honest. Now, Smiley's
I'm
case.
iffy. Anything is possible because you never say never.
Anyone's capable of anything.
So,
not in that past. We're not saying he's not, but
right now I'm a little iffy on this particular one.
We don't have all the evidence to that story yet, so it kind of sounds sketchy.
Right.
Like, what is the reason behind Tavis Smiley? Like, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm with you.
And I'll read one more and then I'll let you dive into what you need to dive into.
Okay.
I have another one. NFL Network analyst Marshall Falk, Ike Taylor, and Heath Evans. Number of accusers, at least one. NFL Network suspended Pro Football Hall of Famer Marshall Falk and former NFL players turned analysts Ike Taylor and Heath Evans on December 11th after a female colleague accused them of sexual harassment. Falk, Taylor, and Evans, along with former executive producer Eric Weinberger and former network analysts Donovan McNabb, Warren Sapp, and Eric Davis, were named in an updated lawsuit against NFL Enterprises by Jamal Cantor, a former wardrobe stylist for the network. The amended complaint was first reported by Bloomberg News. None of the 7 is named as a respondent in the lawsuit, which was originally filed in October in Los Angeles County Superior Court. The original complaint alleged inappropriate actions by 50 people whom it identified only as John Does 1 through 50. The amended complaint accuses Falk and Evans of having groped Cantor while she was at the network, while it accuses Taylor and McNabb of having sent her sexually inappropriate communications. The communications from Taylor allegedly included video of him masturbating, while the alleged communications from McNabb, who now works for beIN Sports and ESPN Radio, were text only, according to the complaint. Alex, a spokesman for NFL Network, told NBC News in a statement Monday night, Marshall Faulk, Ike Taylor, and Heath Evans have been suspended from their duties as NFL Network pending an investigation into these allegations. Weinberger left NFL Network in 2015 to become president of Bill Simmons Media Group, publisher of the sports website The Ringer. The amended complaint accuses Weinberger of both having touched Cantor inappropriately and having sent her sexual inappropriate communications. A spokesperson for The Ringer told NBC News, these are very serious and disturbing allegations that we were made aware of today. We are placing Eric on leave indefinitely until we have a better understanding of what transpired during his time at the NFL, and we will conduct our own internal investigation. Look at that. Look at that, boy. A lot of people who we grew up seeing, sports, political, the whole Hollywood industry.
All kind of stuff, man. All kinds of people. It don't matter what area they in. It goes on in every arena. Doesn't matter. Sad. Well, I don't idolize these people. I mean, I appreciate what people have done as far as their careers, but to look up to them, no. That's why people got stop putting their trust in man.
Yes, please stop putting your trust into humans.
Stop looking past their capability, because people are capable of anything. So I'm not shocked by a lot of stuff that goes on as far as what people do. You know, people are capable of anything. It's just crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You got some folks?
Well, I was going to actually read about the Harvey Weinstein, because what actually kicked it off was not even the actresses that accused him. It was actually an assistant that kicked this whole Harvey Weinstein off as far as the accusations. Because there's been two women that's been in the news and given their accounts of what happened in the situation. But let me see here. So the plaintiffs here, they got, wait a minute. Come on now. Okay. The plaintiffs are, because there's 6 women who were represented in this case. Louisette, Guys, Captain Kendall, Zoe Brock, Sarah Ann Massey, Melissa Sedgemiller, and Kenneth Klatt. But I want to read this full story so you can get an idea of how started these accusations about Harvey Weinstein. Okay, so it says 6 women are suing Harvey Weinstein in the studio. Where'd it go? Really? Okay. 6 women are suing Harvey Weinstein in the studio. He co-founded, seeking to turn their case into a class action suit representing what they say are hundreds of women sexually assaulted or harassed by the movie mogul during his days in Hollywood. federal lawsuit for Wednesday in New York against him and Weinstein Company outlines what the women alleged was a massive scheme that facilitated predatory behavior by Weinstein and, they say, enabled him to rape and sexually assault women. We are but fewer than hundreds, the women said in a statement Wednesday. Dozens have come forward so far and many more remain in the shadows, still trying to find their courage, watching us defend ourselves for not coming forward sooner. They are reading internet comments, assessing the risks of coming forward, and hoping that a few of us can obtain justice without them having to add their names to the list and go down in history as having been Weinstein. And I just gave you the names of the women. Go down here. Meanwhile, Weinstein's former personal assistant of nearly 2 years also plans to sue Weinstein and his namesake company alleging sexual harassment. The former assistant Sandeep Rahal will allege that she was repeatedly sexually harassed throughout her tenure at Weinstein Company, which ended in 2015. Her attorney, Jenny Harrison, said Wednesday the suit will allege that she provided him with erectile dysfunction medication and stocked and for him with bathrobes, flowers, and women's lingerie. Sexual harassment includes verbal harassment, physical harassment, offensive material, demands, unwanted touching, and many other actions that create a toxic work environment based on gender, Harrison told The Times. She was a young woman in her first real office job. She reported his behavior. More than 80 women, many of them prominent actresses, as me and Jay gave you a few for y'all to hear about and look into, have publicly accused Weinstein of sexual misdeeds spanning 4 decades. So I just wanted to read that part. So there was a couple women that came forward in the beginning, and this is what sparked the whole Harvey Weinstein controversy. Now, of course, you heard about Terry Crews too, his whole situation.
I have heard about that.
When he was groped by a Hollywood exec. The guy name is
male.
Yeah, male.
A male groped him.
Not a woman, y'all. Not a female. A male. His name is Adam Vanette. I'm thinking that's how you say it. Because actually, what prompted this whole controversy at Cruz is he made a couple tweets on Twitter about the situations that's going on with Harvey Weinstein, and he was relating his story to their story, understanding why certain women wouldn't come due to different circumstances, and he could understand, and he kind of gave a explanation why, and then that's when he kind of dove into it happened to him. And at first he didn't give the name, but then, over time he finally did. So the guy name is Adam Vanette. So I'm going to read on him. Okay, so the headline is Terry Crews says I will not be shamed as he shares details of alleged sexual assault. Amid the slew of allegations of sexual and assault charges in Hollywood, Terry Crews out about his own traumatic experience. In a sit-down with Michael Strahan of Good Morning America, the former NFL player detailed the alleged incident that led him to file a report to the Los Angeles Police Department against a high-level Hollywood executive. Now, I don't know if y'all knew he used to be a football player, but Terry Crews used to be one. On Wednesday's interview, Crews, 49, named his alleged assailant as Adam Vanette, head of the motion picture department at William Morris Endeavor, which is WME, and an agent to many celebrities who reportedly went on leave from the company earlier this month. WME confirmed to ABC News that the agent is suspended following an internal investigation into the matter. He's connected to everyone I know in the business, Crews explained. Crews claimed that the executive was acting strange when they first met at a party in February 2016. I'm looking at him, and he's basically staring at me, said the actor. And he's sticking his tongue out, and it's overtly sexual kind of tongue moves. I'm sitting there like, it's a party, it's packed, the whole thing, and I'm looking like, is this a joke? Cruz continued. I don't understand. It was actually so bizarre, and he keeps coming over to me, and I stick his hand out, and he literally takes his hand and puts it and squeezes my genitals. I jump back like, hey, and he's still licking his tongue out and all this stuff, and I go, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wait a minute here. Okay. But the interaction allegedly didn't end there. Cruz said Vanette approached him again, and that's when he had enough. Then he comes back again, and he just won't stop, he said. Then I really got forceful, pushed him back. He bumps into all the other party goers, and he starts giggling and laughing. And let me tell you, I have never felt more emasculated or objectified. I was horrified. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine star said his wife, Rebecca King Cruz, who was present during the incident, was the only thing that kept him from getting physical. You gotta think about it. Terry Crews, he a black man. He's real swole. And what is it gonna look like if he hurt that white man who's powerful in Hollywood? He's gonna look like a monster to the world. And
exactly.
Right. And he's gonna be thrown into the jail.
Right. Even though that man is wrong on so many levels, but society is not looking at that. Like you said, they're gonna look at Terry
like he's a criminal.
As he's the bad person.
Right. Because that's how a lot
that's how they're gonna locked up and charged with all these different crimes.
Right. That's not even
just for defending himself.
Right. Right. And he can easily manhandle his ass easily, big as he is. But you know, he did give his reason why he didn't. So we're gonna get into that. When I looked at him, it was rage, and when I said rage, I felt like I could punch a hole in his head. Cruz said of Vanette. But this is the deal. My wife told me 3 years earlier, Terry, you can never handle any situation like this with violence. You are a target. You can be baited and pulled. When the former athlete said, despite being so angry that he almost ripped the steering wheel off of his car as he drove home, his wife reassured him and told him she was proud of him. That's one thing I knew. Being a large African American man in America, I would immediately become a thug. Well, be seen as a thug, he said, which is true. Which you kind of, me and Jay said the similar thing just now. He would be looked at totally different in the public view. Cruz said he had dismissed the incident to the claims against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein put sexual assault and harassment in the news. When the Weinstein thing started happening, I got PTSD, he said. I was going, oh my God, this exact thing happened to me. I understand why they won't come forward. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of times people go, why didn't you come forward sooner? And you just ask in the show. When a person of forward breaks that boundary and violates that boundary, you are a prisoner of war. He said he would not stand for people asking why he didn't come forward sooner or blaming the victim. I will not be shamed. I did nothing wrong. Nothing, he said.
Exactly.
But people are asking these questions because I've seen it.
Yes.
In addition to the claims against Hollywood actors and producers in recent months, Cruz said he felt compelled to share his story after hearing women speak about how they are called liars after coming forward with their own stories of sexual assault and harassment. Was a keynote speaker at an event for the Center for Community Solutions. What kind of man would I be to tell my kids, if someone touches you where you don't want to be touched, tell someone and then I don't do it? He said, let me tell you something. It freed me. I knew instantly that I had to tell my story so that other people could be free.
I applaud him on that. Because again, unless you're in that situation, I applaud him and respect it. Unless you in that situation, I need y'all to just shut up.
People say he wanted attention.
Who wants that type of... Sometimes people say the most stupidest shit.
He's a man at that.
I mean, it's already tough for women to come forward, but when a man gets sexually molested, groped, touched, raped, that's his manhood.
Yes, yeah.
You feel me? Like, that's his manhood. That sound like my son.
Y'all
feel me?
You feel me?
There's just no way.
That's embarrassing. That's humiliation. But he was courage enough.
He had
to
the
speak
courage
on it.
to step forward and to let y'all crab people know, guess what? Y'all can think whatever y'all want to think, say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, he is not feeling ashamed. He's going to be made to feel bad about it, and he's speaking out.
I can't be mad at that.
And it's all good. You know what I'm saying? As far as he don't have to, like he said, feel shame or.
That's true.
And he's still going, and he has good support from his wife.
Right, which is the most important thing.
When you have when you have support, genuine, unapologetic support from your wife or mate, significant other, and they down with you, they there right there with you. Like, guess what, baby? I'm here, right here for you. That's an awesome feeling.
She a dope person.
I'm glad that she riding for him.
As she should. And my hat's off to her for supporting her man the way she is.
Exactly. Because
she could have just been selfish and said, the hell with you. You know, you need to be quiet because we need this money.
Right. Right. And I'm glad that he thought in his brain, my wife is right here. I'm not going to do this because we have an empire to continue to build.
Right. You don't want to ruin it over some stupid idiot who can't keep his hands to his damn self. Because he definitely, him being black, he ain't been far with that.
I'm glad she was there because, boy, that just makes me think like if she wasn't, he was there by himself. I don't know. I don't know if it would have turned out the same way it did with her being there. I just got to be honest. I don't know.
That been ugly. Boy, he would have left that there to dry, man. That been messed up. You got to order.
So I'm just gonna continue until we done with the show to read some more.
There's so much, y'all.
But you can definitely read it afterwards. I'm still on this NBCnews.com. So another individual who has sexual conduct, Ryan Lizza.
Oh, yeah.
Number of accusers, at least one. Ryan Lizza, the Washington correspondent of The New Yorker, was fired on December 11th over claims of improper sexual conduct. The New Yorker recently learned that Ryan Lizza engaged in what we believe was improper sexual conduct. The magazine said in a statement, "We have reviewed the matter and, as a result, have severed ties with Lizza. Due to a request for privacy, we are not commenting further." But Lizza disputed the magazine's decision almost immediately, issuing a statement that described the complaint made by one woman. "I am dismayed that the New Yorker has decided to characterize a respectful relationship with a woman I was dating as somehow inappropriate," he said. The New Yorker was unable to cite any company policy that was violated. "I am sorry to my friends, workplace, colleagues, and loved ones for any embarrassment this episode may cause." The woman mentioned by Lizza remains anonymous, but her lawyer, Douglas Wigdord, sharply disagreed with Lizza's description of the circumstances. In no way did Mr. Lizza's misconduct constitute a respectful relationship, as he has now tried to categorize it, Wigdord said in a statement. Lizza was also suspended by CNN, where he is an on-air contributor.
He just recently came out in the news too. He's been in the media. This celeb chef, Mario Batali, I've been seeing him a lot in the news. This just recently came out.
This is a recent one, yes. Mario Batali, that well-known chef. Number of accusers, 4. Four women accused celebrity chef Mario Batali of inappropriate touching over the course of 2 decades, causing the restaurateur and television show host to step aside from his projects for the time being. The accusations against Patali were first published in a report by Eater, New York on December 11th. 3 of the accusers were employees of the chef. All men recounted instances at different points in Patali's career when they say the chef groped them and made inappropriate comments of a sexual nature. In a statement, Patali apologized and said the accusations described by the women match up with the way he has acted. I apologize to the people I have mistreated and hurt. Although the identities of most of the individuals mentioned in these stories have not been revealed to me, much of the behavior described does, in fact, match up with ways I have acted. That behavior was wrong and there are no excuses. I take full responsibility and am deeply sorry for any pain, humiliation, or discomfort I have caused to my peers, employees, customers, friends, and family, the statement said in part. Patali added that he was stepping away from the day-to-day operations of my businesses, acknowledging his actions disappointed many people and the failures are mine alone. A few days later, ABC said they fired him from the cooking show The Chew.
Well, you know, one thing I can give him props on. At least
he admitted
and came forward and addressed the allegations and owned up to the things he's done to women. I can respect that part, but that's it. He needs to take accountability for his actions. Needs to be done as far as him.
I have one more before you go into what you need to go into.
Do what it do.
The next one, James Levine. Number of accusers, multiple. James Levine. New York's Metropolitan Opera suspended its famed longtime conductor, James Levine, on December 3rd while it investigates allegations of sexual misconduct. The opera's announcement followed a report in the New York Post that Levine was accused in a police report of molesting a young man beginning when the man was 15 years old, and that the sexual abuse continued for years. The New York Times identified 2 other men who it said alleged that they'd had sexual encounters with Levine beginning in the summer of 1968. They were teens at a music school in Michigan. This queen been doing it for a minute. On December the 8th, Illinois prosecutors investigating sexual abuse allegations dating back to the 1980s said they were unable to press charges based on state law at the time and other factors. Levine has denied the allegations, saying as understandably troubling as the accusations noted in press accounts are, they are unfounded. As anyone who truly knows me will attest, I have not lived my life as an oppressor or an aggressor. Let me tell you something. Just like in the straight world, men can rape and sexually molest and harass. In the gay world too. See, they tend to think that in the gay world, just because it's gay men and lesbian women, that it don't happen. Trust me when I say it does. It does. Just like we've seen and heard a lot of these preachers and people of spiritual faith, they go and they molest these. It's more so the men molesting the boys at a young age. I mean, it does happen in the lesbian world too. But people be in denial of that. Oh, this pastor can't do this, and oh, this pastor can't do that. Or, oh, this just in general gay man can't do. Yes, the hell they can. It happens all across the freaking board. Whether you in the high Hollywood or you just the average damn Joe Blow. It happens.
Yeah, they do.
Stop, like you said earlier, stop putting these people on pedestals. They are not gods, they are human.
I have no sympathy. I'm not I'm not stick riding nobody. I want to say the D word. I ain't stick riding nobody. If you right, you right. You wrong, you wrong. I don't care how good of an actor you is. I don't care how good of an athlete you is. I don't care how good of a chef you is. I don't care how good you are in the political arena. I don't care what you do. I know how to separate that from the character of a person.
You right about that.
So if I see something, I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to point it out. I don't get emotionally involved. That's the problem with people that get emotionally involved. And like you have a personal relationship with these people or something. You don't believe nothing. Just especially Russell Simmons case. Like people don't, especially black people. Let me see. I'm gonna be specific. Black people don't believe he done those things to them women. Yes, the fuck he did. Why the hell he apologized then if he ain't do it? Why he stepped down? No one told him to step down. He chose to step down.
Would you like to read Russell? Or no, you have Russell.
You go ahead and read it. You already own him.
Okay, well,
go
since
ahead.
you mentioned Russell Simmons, and I've always had in the back of my head, way before he got really famous to where he's at now, I always thought that he was a DL man. I always thought it. Don't ask me how I concluded. It's just my thoughts and my opinions. Whatever. So, yes, who asked him to step down? He did. Because I feel like if you are innocent, to hell with stepping down. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to ride till the wheels freaking come
and
off.
Protect your businesses.
And you're going to protect your businesses. This man has businesses.
Not one. Multiple streams of income.
So, Russell Simmons, number of accusers, multiple. Russell Simmons, the hip-hop mogul and producer who helped to create the Def Jam brand, said he was stepping down. He has stepped down from his various companies following various companies, honey, various companies following accusations of sexual misconduct. The initial accusation was reported in the Los Angeles Times on November 19 when model Carrie Clausen, how do you pronounce that? Carrie Clausen Kaligi. We're going to go with that. Like. Yeah. Said he made aggressive sexual advances on her in 1991 and coerced her to have oral sex at his apartment and forced himself on her in the shower. Carrie, then 17, said director Brett Ratner was there well and declined to do anything when she asked for help. An attorney for Ratner didn't immediately respond to a request for comment, although he told the newspaper that Ratner has no recollection of Carrie's plea for help. Simmons also provided a statement saying that he did spend a couple of days with her, but was shocked about her assertions of that time. A second woman to come forward, a screenwriter named Jenny Lumet, recounted in a November 30th guest column in The Hollywood Reporter how Simmons forced her into a sexual encounter in 1991 when she was 24. Simmons, 60, said that her recollections of that night are very different from mine, although it is now clear to me that her feelings of fear and intimidations are real. Other women have since come forward, 3 of whom were identified in a December 13th New York Times report, and said that Simmons raped them in separate incidents in either the 1980s or 1990s. Simmons responded in a statement that all of my relations have been consensual. The LA Times also interviewed 5 more women, including actress Natasha Williams, who alleged sexual misconduct. The women said he used his personal yoga studio to prey on them, which also denied. So, I mean,
what's your thoughts on all that? Man.
Well, he's saying that it was consensual, so he's saying that he has had dealings with these women, but it's not what they're saying. I don't put anything past anybody, and I've always made that clear. If you didn't do it, great, wonderful. The women got issues. But if you did, damn shame on you.
He did it.
Because it's just real. It's just crazy how all these names are coming up.
Right. And I know he's done it to males too.
Yes.
Come on. Let's speak on that, because I got an article here. This was actually in 2015. This was 2 years ago. His nephew speaks out against him. He alleges gay cult-like rituals at Def Jam. Okay? His cousin was a group called Horrorcore. Well, no, the Flatliners. So they was in the 90s, that whole horrorcore, dark hip-hop. His name is Jamel Simmons, but his rap name was Red Rum. So he basically gave his accounts of what goes on in that world, and then just with Def Jam and the rituals that Russell Simmons put people through to even get ahead in that world. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. But since we talk about sexual misconduct, but it just let me know that this shit can't be made up about Russell Simmons when he has a track record of doing this. And then, I don't know if people been keeping up, but Ted Cruz also exposed Russell Simmons because he actually got a personal email from Russell Simmons because of Adam and Nate, that whole situation that went down. And, messaging Terry Crews back and forth. They both messaging each other back and forth, and he tells Terry Crews to give him a pass. He posted up the personal email of what Russell Simmons said, and I have the article right here. I just want to read this, okay?
Ooh, honey.
So come on, y'all. Russell Simmons tells Terry Crews to give agent a pass in sexual assault allegations before his own come to light. For his own come to light. Think about it now. So is he? So he innocent, y'all? Do he sound innocent? Oh, okay, I didn't think so. Before Russell Simmons' sexual assault accusations were public, he gave Terry Crews some advice on how to handle his own situation. Crews, who recently named his alleged sexual assaulters as Adam and Nate, blasted the Def Jam Recordings co-founder on Twitter Sunday for his take on the matter. In the email, and by the way, this is coming from Atlanta Black Star, Simmons asked Crews to give Vinay a pass, but Crews fired back. No one gets a pass. And of course, here they have the personal email here, and they also have the tweet that Terry Crews put out on his own Twitter page regarding the sexual assault against Adam Vinay and the conversation that him and Russell had. Crews filed a police report against Vinay after the comedian said the former WME agent groped him at a February 2016 event. The actor also plans to file a lawsuit against Vinay, who was put on leave from his agency after the allegations surfaced in October. The email was sent on November 3rd, which was days before Simmons' own accusation bubbled up in headlines. That same day, the Los Angeles Times reported that Kerry Clausen, you just read that, Clausen Kaligi, decided to come forward with her story of Simmons' sexual assault against her. She said she contacted Simmons after the paper published a report about Ratner on November 1st, which we're going to get into Ratner too, Brett Ratner. He's the franchise of, I think, X-Men franchise. On November 1st, after telling Simmons she was planning on going public with her story. Caligny said she pressed him to confess to his past actions. The article details Caligi's allegation that Simmons sexually assaulted her in front of film director. Yeah, he is a film director, Brett Ratner, who she said didn't stop him. What'd that say, y'all? The year was 1991, and Kaligi was a 70-year-old model. After going to dinner with Simmons and Ratner in York, the group went back to Ratner's apartment. The paper reported Simmons swiftly began making forceful sexual advances and pulling the teen's clothes off. I looked over at Brett and said, "Help me." I'll never forget the look on his face, said 43-year-old Kaligi. In that moment, the realization fell on me that they were in it together. He also let Simmons try to force her to have penetrative sex, which she fought wildly. He then allegedly compelled her to give him oral sex, and she said she just acquires it. Oh, I can't say that word. So I'm guessing she probably rejected or fighting off or turned it down. Kaligi stated she felt disgusting and went to shower. During her shower, she claimed Simmons, who was about twice her age at the time, quickly and non-consensually penetrated her. In a statement posted on Twitter, which he provided to the LA Times, Simmons maintained that his encounter with Kaligi was consensual in front of other people or in public. He also said he can recall, like you was saying that, Jade, in that article. Simmons provided witness statements to the Shade Room Sunday to validate his stance that other people were present. One account from Simmons' former assistant, Anthony McNair, said Kaligi went to his bedroom on her own volition and without any coercion under... Hold on, y'all. We got a jamming session here. There you go. That's how we doing it.
All right, now. That's what the world needs. How appropriate. The world needs love, sweet love.
Right. It came on time. Okay, so on her own volition and without any coercion or under influence, there were two other people around at the time too. All three witnesses maintained that Kaligi was not in distress and that they did not see her do anything against her own free will. Meanwhile, Ratner's attorney, Martin Singer, said his client had no recollection of Kaligi's request for help and disputed seeing her protest. The producer and music video director has also denied other sexual assault accusations against him. This is the second assault alleged hurled towards Simmons in as many weeks. So yeah, it's more to the story. So if you want to read it, check out Atlanta Black Star. So yeah, Terry Crews gave his side about it. So apparently, if Terry Crews said what he said to Russell Simmons, and Russell Simmons rebutted and said something different to what Terry Crews said, then he damn sure look guilty. So Russell and his people are trying to say the woman's lying. Although he just proved himself guilty in the email.
I can believe it. I mean, how you gonna tell a brother just give him a pass? Like, seriously? That makes no sense. No sense at all.
It don't.
You kind of make yourself look guilty.
Pretty much. I don't give a fuck if nobody say Russell Simmons is guilty. And you got fucking 2 kids. What kind of example you set for your children? Who say you wouldn't do that to your own when you do that to somebody else?
Because that definitely happens. You have these parents, male and females, but more the males that get, more male, that they have sex with their children. As, what's the brother's name that used to sing with Lauryn Hill that was having sex with his kids?
When he was the producer or something? I think he was the producer or something like that for the group. And he was doing that. It wasn't Wyclef or Pras. It was someone they would work with. I think he was a producer. Speaking of artists, I mean, and then you got that whole case with Nicki Minaj's brother.
Right.
Which he was guilty of all charges. Mm-hmm. And she knew about this all along. And protected this man for so long. As them kids are fucking damaged for the rest of their life. And they're traumatized. This is the world we living in, y'all.
Right.
I don't give a damn that's her brother. I don't care if it's a sibling thing. There's some things you just can't condone. And she should have spoke up about that. There's no excuse. And people are literally trying to defend Nicki as if she don't have some kind of partners. It's kind of like you are accomplice to that. Because you paying people off to keep it hush-hush and get them out of the legal system and all kinds of stuff.
True.
So would that
make you just as guilty? You may not have did the act, but it makes you just as guilty. I mean, it's we are definitely in revelation times, ending times, last times, however you want to say it. But clearly we can see a lot of things that go on in this world that are coming to surface, coming to the head.
I'm glad it's coming to surface.
People and situations being exposed. So I mean, I definitely say be on your P's and Q's. Watch, research, listen, observe, prepare, and be spiritually grounded, because you're gonna need it. Yeah. Let Jesus be our fence.
Because y'all, this is the tip of the iceberg. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Right.
This is the tip. This ain't nothing. To compare what's going on out here.
I'm a need for we gonna need to be spiritually grounded, however that looks for you. And instead of you trying to recruit, you need to focus on yourself and get yourself together before you start trying to come out here and recruit. Let people be where they need to be, wherever that is, because we all not going to fall into the category of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, atheist, Wiccan, pagan, whatever it is. We all falling into different things, okay? Right. And so let that be between us and our divine.
Right.
Okay?
That's not your job.
That's not your job. That's not your say-so, people.
If anything, the divine will lead them wherever. If the atheists don't believe in anything, so be it. Their minds will change for them. They'll figure it out. Let them go their own path. Everybody's path is not for everybody. Everybody got a different path. You might not understand it, but you gotta respect it.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna read on Brett Ratner.
You about to get to him?
Okay, I want to get to,
because I got stories on him too.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I don't want you to read it though. I want you to read yours.
Okay, so I want to read my man here. Where he at? No, I passed him. Okay, I'm about to go find him. Because as I said earlier, it happens in the LGBT world, people.
Yeah, it ain't no different than the straight world.
So, Jeffrey Tambor, who won critical acclaim for his portrayal of a transgender woman in hit TV series Transparent, was accused on November the 16th of sexually harassing a transgender actor on the show. Tracy Lizette alleges the actor made sexual advances and remarks towards her during the making of the award-winning comedy series, and claimed that one time it got physical. The allegation comes days after Tambor was reportedly accused of sexual harassment by his former assistant on the show, Van Barnes, who is also transgender. Tambor denied the allegation, saying he has never been a predator, ever. I am deeply sorry if any action of mine was ever misinterpreted by anyone as being sexually aggressive, or if I ever offended or hurt anyone. But the fact is, for all my flaws, I am not a predator, and the idea that someone might see me in that way is more distressing than I can express, the statement said in part. I can believe it.
Yeah.
I can.
Some people don't have control of their actions at all. They get a little too happy.
Right. Oh, we have Ray Moore.
Oh, Roy Moore.
Excuse me.
That's Roy
Moore. Number of accusers, at least 9. At least 9 women have accused Roy Moore, the Republican Party's Senate nominee in Alabama, of sexual misconduct only weeks prior to the special election. The story broke on November 9th. When the Washington Post reported that Moore allegedly forced a 14-year-old girl into a sexual encounter in 1979, another old queen, when he was 32. Leah Korfman, 53, who came forward with the accusation, told the Post. Leah. Is it Leah? I'm thinking Leah. Leah? Lee.
It's just spelled different.
Right. Lee Korfman, again, 53, who came forward with the accusation, told the Post that at the time Moore took off her shirt and pants and removed his clothes, touched her over her bra and underpants, and guided her hand to touch him over his underwear. In that same report, 3 additional women told the Post that Moore had pursued them while he was in his early 30s, and they were between the ages of 16 and 18. None of the 3 women said Moore forced them into any sort of relationship or sexual contact. Since the initial report, more women have come forward to various media outlets that describe Moore engaging in sexual misconduct through his career. In a statement from his campaign, Moore, now 70, heatedly denied the women's allegations, calling them a baseless political attack and the very definition of fake news and intentional defamation. So that was Roy Moore.
Get his dumb ass out of here. You know he did that shit. That's why he getting mad, because he getting exposed.
Oh, this is a good one. I'm going to let you read.
I think that's that comedian, ain't it?
Nope.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this and I'm going to be quiet.
You know Dustin Hoffman got accused too.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. So, another famous actor, excuse me. Well, you know, maybe he got some tendencies. I don't know. But anywho, Steven Seagal. Woo! He used to be one of my fave actors to watch. Steven Seagal. Number of accusers, 3. At least 3 actresses have accused Steven Seagal of sexual harassment. Actress Portia de Rossi, who is married to Ellen DeGeneres, tweeted that she once auditioned for the former action star in his office, where he said how important it was to have chemistry off screen as he sat me down and unzipped his leather pants. De Rossi said she ran out and told her agent. She didn't say when the alleged incident occurred. Actress Rae Dawn Chung told The Hollywood Reporter of a similar story. She said the talent agency that represented her from 1989 to 90 had her meet Seagal inside of his hotel room at night. She said he exposed himself to her, and that after she told her agent what happened, it impacted her career. She later left the agency, she said, because it was like a pimp situation. Actress Jenny McCarthy also recounted an audition with Seagal in 1995 for the film Under Siege 2, telling Sirius XM that she was excited to read for the part when he told her to relax on a couch, but he then requested that she pull down her dress, she said, which prompted her to run out to her car. But Seagal followed her, she added, and told her not to tell anyone of their encounter. Other women have claimed Seagal acted inappropriately or strangely with them, but not specifically of sexual misconduct. Julianne Margulies, who co-starred with Seagal in 1991's Out of Justice, said on Sirius XM that when she was 23, she was told by a casting director to go to Seagal's hotel room at night. Margulies said that when she got there, she was alone. Seagal made sure that I saw his gun, which I had never seen a gun in real life, the actress said, and I got out of there unscathed. Eva LaRue of All My Children and CSI Miami told Deadline that Seagal locked her in her room, pulled back his kimono, and unveiled his underwear. She was 22 and waiting for an audition. Reps from Siegel did not immediately respond to a request for comment from NBC News. His spokesman previously told the Daily Beast that McCarthy's claim is completely false.
It's called the casting couch. They went through that ritual. They had to go through the ritual, but certain ones didn't apply. As you heard, what Jade read. That guy that you just passed to.
Oh, good old
Ed Westwood.
Oh, from the Gossip Girl.
Yeah, he actually beat the women. Not just sexual. Assault. Not just the sexual part, but the assault too. Like, he beat them. Like, yeah, these guys are crazy, man. So, what's your whole thoughts on that, Jay? Just reading all that.
It's a lot to intake. And I do not put anything. It would not be surprising. So again, if they are innocent, these women are just as sick as they are. Because we all know that there are cases where women have lied on men, and men have gone to jail, if not for most of their life, but they have gone for a long time. So there's a lot of women that lie out here.
I agree, but people should not get that twisted when saying that all victims lie. That's not true.
Exactly, because
of bad apples.
You're right. You definitely right about that. So yeah, all women are not lying about it. But boy, oh boy, it's a lot to intake. It's
a
lot.
Kind of ways.
Yeah, like it just makes me feel all kinds of ways. And again, I wouldn't be surprised, just from being exposed at a very young age. I would not be surprised. No,
me either. And just imagine what the trauma of that is, like the after effects of it, because people deal with pain and trauma in different ways. Some people drink, some people do drugs, some people abuse others, some people have some people anger.
Right, and some people go, like we talked about yesterday, some people, unfortunately, and it's not right, and I'm not condoning it, but when you're a victim, there are certain situations where those victims, you do it to people.
Yeah. Not all cases, but some. You're right. So with that being said, since you mentioned a few guys, I do have a few more guys I'm going to mention, but two of them that's going to stick out that I'm going to talk about, because those have been more highlighted than the other guys. So, the first guy is Danny Masterson. Now, this is the guy that played in
The Ranch.
The Ranch.
And from Netflix show,
and
The
I
Ranch.
think that 70s show. I could have sworn he did. I think that's the same guy, but he was accused of raping 4 women, and he was fired from his Netflix show, The Ranch. So the response from day one: I have denied the outrageous allegations against me. I had never been charged with a crime, let alone convicted of one. So that was his response to that. Garrison Keller. He was dropped by Minnesota Public Radio, so he was in the radio arena. He was the creator and former host of Prairie Home Companion. He was accused of inappropriate behavior with a coworker. Okay, his response: I've been fired over a story that I think is more interesting and more complicated than the version NPR heard. Most stories are. Matt Lauer, that's a big one too. We should get into that. Charlie Rose is another big one.
That's a big one too.
John Collins, that's another big one. But Charlie Rose, he sexually harassed 8 women, including groping and lewd phone calls. Of course, y'all know he was fired from CBS, Bloomberg, and PBS. So they canceled distribution with his interview show. His response: I have behaved insensitively at times, and I accept responsibility for that, though I do not believe that all of these allegations are accurate. And what you pointed out, John Conyers, he was accused of sexual harassment by employees. He had to resign, which he did. His response: they are not true. I cannot explain where they came from. Matt Lauer, y'all heard about the big story. He was fired from NBC for sexual inappropriate behavior with one woman, but it was actually more than one. But okay. But his response was: some of what is being said about me is untrue or mischaracterized, but there's enough truth in these stories to make me feel embarrassed and ashamed. And we just talked about Russell Simmons. Al Franken, he's gonna resign. He was accused of sexual harassment by several women, including forcibly kissing and groping. His response: I know in my heart nothing that I have done as a senator, nothing has brought dishonor on this institution, and I am confident that the ethics committee would agree. Who else? Louis C.K., the comedian and producer. 5 women. He was accused by 5 women of sexual misconduct, exposing himself and masturbating in front of them. He was on FX and he was involved with other media companies, so they cut ties with him. His movie release was canceled and his comedy special. His response: these stories are true. I have been remorseful of my actions. He's been remorseful, y'all. Andy Dick, which I heard about that too. Mm-hmm. Sexual harassment, including groping. He was fired from his film. His response: I didn't grope nobody. I might have kissed somebody on the cheek to say goodbye and then licked them. I'm not trying to sexually harass people. Let's see who else. Terry Richardson. I think that's who you're talking about. He's a fashion photographer. Mm-hmm. You said something there. You said the guy was involved in some kind of way in fashion. Mm-hmm. That's the guy I was talking about, Terry Richardson. He was accused by models of sexual harassment. He's banned for working with Condé Nast, so he's banned from the fashion world, basically.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah. So his response is: many of his professional interactions with subjects were sexual and explicit in nature, but all of the subjects of his work participated consensually, a spokeswoman said. John Besh, chief executive of the Besh Restaurant Group, he was accused of sexual harassment. He stepped down. His response: I alone am entirely responsible for my moral failings. This is not the way the head of a company like ours should have acted. Who else? We got... Okay. I think we named everybody. George W. Bush. That's not a surprise. That's I'm not talking about the George. I'm not talking about the son. I'm talking about the father, former president George W. Bush. That's not surprising though. Who else they have? Let me see. I think there's okay, let's see who else they got on this list. Yeah. So, and I mean, they got a few others in here, but those are the main people that are well known that y'all know of or familiar with that's been accused of some kind of sexual harassment or sexual misconduct or some sexual assault or rape or whatever it may be. So, is there one you want to get into?
Well, just a name I'm not going to read into. Ben Affleck, okay, as you said.
Well, he's taking up for Harvey Weinstein.
Right. Roy Price, who is the Amazon Studios chef, resigned from his job after reports surfaced of his alleged sexual misconduct toward an Amazon TV producer. CNBC reported the Man in the High Castle producer Issa Hackett said she and Price had been promoting the show in 2015 at Comic-Con in San Diego, where they would wind up in a taxi together with another former Amazon executive, according to the Hollywood Reporter. We take seriously any questions about the conduct of our employees, an Amazon spokesperson said in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter. We encourage people to raise any concerns, and we make it a priority to investigate and address them. Accordingly, we looked closely at this specific concern and addressed it directly with those involved. A spokesperson for Price declined to comment to the Hollywood Reporter. So that's Roy Price. They have Oliver Stone.
Oh, that was the one I was trying to figure out because he was taking up for Harvey Weinstein.
Right. So Oliver Stone, number of accusers, 1.
Of course.
Actress and former Playboy model Carrie Stevens accused writer and director Oliver Stone. Oh, we got another queen, honey. Oliver Stone of Oliver.
But they all swing that way.
They swing that way.
So it doesn't matter.
No. Oliver Stone of groping her at a party during the 1990s in a tweet responding to Stone's remarks about the Harvey Weinstein scandal. He was really cocky, had this big grin on his face like he was going to get away with something, Stevens later told the New York Daily News, adding, Stone has not responded publicly to Stevens' allegation, but Stone's initial response to the sexual misconduct accusations against Harvey Weinstein also caused controversy. It's not easy what he's going through, Stone said. I'm a believer that you wait until this thing gets to trial. I believe a man shouldn't be condemned by a vigilante system. So, yeah. Bob Weinstein is another individual. He's accused of making repeated romantic advances.
Keep in mind, y'all, that's Harvey Weinstein's brother.
He is, no. So Weinstein, who is Weinstein? He's, that's Amanda. She's an executive producer of The Mist. So he's part of that. His brother, Harvey's brother. You have John Besh.
Which I just mentioned his name.
Who you just mentioned. You have James Toback.
Oh, that's another big one.
James Toback.
I got 3 other stories I want to read.
Number of accusers, at least 238. More than 200 additional women contacted the LA Times in response to its initial investigation, in which 38 women described similar instances of sexual harassment from veteran Hollywood writer and director James Toback. Toback has written or directed more than a dozen films, including Tyson, The Pickup Artist, and Bugsy, for which he received an Oscar nomination. Toback denied the allegations to the Times, saying that he had either never met his accusers or only did for 5 minutes and have no recollection of them. He also claimed it would have been biologically impossible for him to engage in the behavior the women described throughout the last 22 years, citing diabetes and a heart condition requiring medication. You can be diabetic and still he's covering.
Still do your thing.
He trying to use that as a cover up.
He's guilty. I don't give a fuck.
Leon Wieseltier, Wieseltier. He is another individual who he has multiple accusers. Trying to see who he actually is, but he's I guess an editor. I don't know.
Yes.
Terry Richardson, which you said,
right?
George H.W. Bush. Look at his old decrepit ass. See, I'm telling you, if you don't believe in I don't want to say payback, but karma, if you don't believe that when you do bad to others, that it's not going to catch up with you eventually, you are mistaken. You are in such a deep sleep, coma-like, because it's going to come back on you. It's definitely going to come back on you. Right. Did you mention Mark Halperin?
No, I didn't mention him.
He has 12 number of accusers. He's I guess, senior political analyst or whatever he calls. Who cares? Kevin Spacey, who you spoke about. You can read on him. He has multiple ones. Michael Oreskes. He's a NPR news chief.
8. Wow.
8. Right. Jeremy Piven. He's a well-known actress.
He was on
Entourage actor. Okay. Multiple people have accused him. That could be men and women. Because Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, I just mentioned that.
You mentioned him.
That's amazing.
And Brett. So, and Ed Westwick, who we spoke briefly about, who was on Gossip Girl for not only sexually assaulting them, beating them, all of that.
His vibe, he do seem a little.
He seemed a
little strange,
right? Because he was off in Gossip Girl, so I think the way that he portrayed himself there, that's how he was in real life,
right?
So you go ahead. I'm gonna take a break because it's 9:01.
All right. Been running your yip.
We've been running our yip.
Sitting there running your yip.
Running our yip.
Let me go down that list. I'm gonna expose these motherfuckers.
They need to be exposed. This like we both are passionate about things. This is something. Ooh.
Kevin Spacey has been. This is coming from BBC News, by the way. Okay. And what I read before was coming from NBC News and ABC News. Okay, we got that out the way. But this story is coming from BBC News. I posted this on my Instagram. Kevin Spacey has said he is seeking treatment after facing allegations of sexual misconduct from a string of men. A representative for the actor said he is taking the time necessary to seek evaluation and treatment. They did not give any information about what kind of treatment he wants. There ain't no fucking treatment for that. You can't really rehabilitate nobody like that.
Kevin Spacey?
Yes.
With doing it to men?
Yes.
He just got outed and called out. He ain't want nobody to know, you sick bitch.
I'm going to give y'all a little backdrop on his life, too, that led to this. Because it does make sense why he did it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not condoning it, but it just, it confirms far as his whole pattern. Like, why did he become that? It's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he pretty much turned into his father, but I'll get into that a little bit.
I remember some of that story, so I'm just going to sit back and listen. Let them
brother.
learn.
Right. He is one of several Hollywood figures who have been accused of sexual misconduct. Dustin Hoffman has issued an apology, but director Brett Ratner has been accused by 6 women. A lawyer for Ratner, the director of the Rush Hour. That's my bad, guys. Rush Hour films. So, and X-Men. I was right, too. Okay. And X-Men The Last Stand has categorically denied all of the accusations. The allegations have been sparked by multiple women speaking out against the Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein and a subsequent campaign encouraging victims to share their stories of sexual harassment under the #MeToo hashtag. New allegations have emerged from a number of men accusing Kevin Spacey of sexual misconduct. U.S. filmmaker Tony Montana claims he was groped by the actor in Los Angeles bar in 2003. And just so you know, I actually looked up some on YouTube about this gentleman named Tony Montana. He's a pretty big-sized guy. So, again, he's not black, but the size of him, he sure can yoke Kevin Spacey's ass up. But I do understand why he didn't really go as far as he did to assault Kevin Spacey. But okay. He says he was left with PTSD for 6 months after Spacey forcefully grabbed his crotch. Mr. Montana told Radio Online that he was in his 30s when the incident took place at the Coronet Bar in L.A. It follows an allegation made by Anthony Rapp. I know you heard about that story. Anthony Rapp, he was young then. He plays in House of Cards.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He's in House of Cards, y'all, right now. So he tried to seduce him when he was 14 years old, which he actually tweeted about his story that happened long ago. Anthony Rapp. Kevin Spacey says he has no recollection of that encounter and was beyond horrified. Incidents regarding Spacey are also alleged to have taken place in the UK while the 2-time Oscar winner was the artistic director at the Old Vic in London between 2004 and 2015. Mexican actor Roberto Cavazos, who acted in several plays at the theater, claimed Spacey routinely preyed on young male actors. I definitely believe that. I know he did. One man told the BBC about his experience of being invited to spend the weekend with Spacey in New York when he was a teenager in the 1980s. Wow. Like I said, it's not surprising. I want y'all to go look at his backstory. I'm saying his childhood to adulthood, the relationship he had with his father, even his brother, the relationship they had, even the relationship he had with his father. His father was the same way. And he was a Satanist. And he pretty much abused them. And he abused many others.
Right. And like you said, you're not condoning, but you see where the pattern comes from.
Right.
He's had multiple physical and sexual, if I'm right, abuse. That's why I said earlier, we're not condoning it, but for a lot of these people, whether they are Hollywood or not, the pattern is like it's generational.
Yeah, it is. It keeps happening by each generation. Now, Brett Ratner accused of sexual harassment by Olivia Munn and five others. This is coming from Fox News. Olivia Munn and 5 other women have come forward with sexual harassment and misconduct allegations against Rush Hour director Brett Ratner. In an expose released by the Los Angeles Times, Munn, 37, said in 2004 she visited the set of Ratner's movie After the Sunset, and he exposed himself and masturbated in front of her during a short encounter in his trailer. In 2010, the X-Men Apocalypse actress wrote of the experience in her book, Suck It, Wonder Woman. Without naming Ratner, however, the director came forward and claimed he had sex with her. I used to date Olivia Munn. I'll be honest with everybody here, Ratner said. I banged her a few times, but I forgot her. Later, Ratner told Howard Stern that he lied about him and Munn having a sexual relationship. Munn denied she and Ratner had a sexual relationship. I made specific. Ain't no denying it. He the one denied it, but okay. I see what the mainstream media is trying to do. Okay. Munn told the Los Angeles Times, it feels as if I keep going up against the same bully at the school who just won't quit, she said. You just hope that enough people believe the truth and for enough time to pass so that you can't be connected to him anymore. Other women spoke to the Los Angeles Times and said they were sexually assaulted by Ratner. Actresses Jamie Ray Newman, Catherine Town, Jorina King, Natasha Henstridge, which she's a more well-known one out of the bunch here, and Catherine Town, but definitely Natasha Henstridge because she played in the X-Men series. And model Iri Sasaki all spoke to the newspaper about Ratner. Henstridge, 43, accused Ratner of forcing her to give him oral sex when she was 19 years old. He strong-armed me in a real way. He physically forced himself on me, she told the Los Angeles Times. At some point, I gave in and he did his thing. Newman, 39, said while she was on a plane with the X-Men The Last Stand director in 2005, Ratner began explicitly describing sexual acts he wanted to perform on her. He was graphically describing giving me oral sex and how he was addicted to it. And actually, Henstridge has a video out right now through TMZ that she gave her encounters on that incident that happened with Brett Ratner and Russell Simmons. No, I told you, Jade. Amanda Seals made a video on her Instagram, about her encounter with Russell Simmons and how she handled the whole situation. So, I mean, the 3 women that came out about Russell Simmons must be true, and Amanda Seals is talking about it, so it gotta be some truth to it. It has to be. And if Natasha Henstridge is telling her story, and Olivia Munn is telling her story truthfully, but Brett is making more than what it is and making it seem like it was consensual, like they had a relationship, and then he recanted what he said to Howard Stern and he denied the whole damn thing. He ain't had no fucking sexual relationship with her then. Yeah, so it's definitely true then. And of course he's getting punished for what he's done. So it's just sad that this stuff is going on. But I do want to read Terry Richardson, since Jay, you brought up the name. Banned from working with Vogue and other leading mags, leaked email shows. Terry Richardson, the fashion photographer, has been barred from working with some of the world's best-selling magazines, the Daily Telegraph can reveal. And this is coming from the Telegraph, by the way, guys. An email circulated within the media group Condé Nast International on Monday and seen by this newspaper announced that the company will no longer work with him. Staff were told that any work already commissioned from Mr. Richardson but not yet published should be killed or substituted with other material. The company publishes international editions of leading fashion magazines such as Vogue, GQ, and Glamour, as well as other well-known titles including Vanity Fair and Wired. Mr. Richardson, whose photographs often grace the covers of fashion magazines and are known in the industry for being sexually explicit, has been dogged for years by allegations of sexual exploitation of models, something he has always denied. At the weekend, a UK newspaper asked why the 52-year-old was still being feted by fashionistas in the wake of Harvey Weinstein revelations. Mr. Richardson's contract arrangements have been in dispute for some time with Condé Nast International, but within 24 hours of the article appearing, an email was circulated telling staff not to work with him. The message was sent by James Warhouse, the company's executive vice president and chief operating officer, to country presidents at the firm at 8:14 a.m. on Monday. Mr. Warhouse wrote, "I am writing to you on an important matter. Condé Nast would like to no longer work with the photographer Terry Richardson. Any shoots that have been commissioned or any shoots that have been completed but not yet published should be killed and substituted with other material. Please could you confirm that this policy will be auctioned in your market effective immediately? Thank you for your support in this matter."
Ooh.
Domino effect. It's all coming down. And like I said, I know y'all heard about the whole Nicki Minaj thing. Her brother, Jelani Mirage, went to trial. The young victims gave their accounts of what happened in their own way, detail. And he was convicted. So I'm gonna see how Nicki Minaj gonna get her brother out of this, because I doubt he's getting out of this situation, as he should not.
Exactly. And again, just for the record, myself and Uno, we are not saying that we are not condoning any type of violence. And we're also not saying that for every person that has been traumatized physically or sexually that they wind up turning into being the individuals that do it to other individuals. We just want to make that clear. But I will say that it does happen in certain situations, certain family dynamics. It happens, unfortunately. And so we really want you guys to just be mindful. I know this is not the have and have nots and Empire and all of the reality shows that we like to, escape from time to time. But this is real stuff that is happening. And, just take time to research if you like. Take time to read the articles that are going to be posted, to read up on, because it's real. It's real out here in this world. Again, whether it's from the high celebrity Hollywood or just average Joe Blow, it happens. It happens every day. Someone is getting traumatized, sexual harassment. That's why if you on a job, know your worth as far as what sexual harassment or harassment means, because there's different avenues. It's just not about sexual harassment. There's there's varieties of different harassment. And if I get a chance to kind of pull that up somewhere, perhaps we can post that on this as well for additional information, because people should be made aware of. And I know, again, easier said than done. No judge, no juror over here. But ladies, men, I know it's hard. If you, from experience myself, if you can get out there sooner than later and let somebody know what has happened or what is going on, if someone is harassing you or traumatizing you, please get out there and let somebody know, because it's so important.
And make sure you have some kind of evidence, rather
right,
a snapshot, some documentation. You might want to put a recorder somewhere inside your jacket or shirt or something to type of credible information that you can use just in case you need it in a legal sense.
Absolutely, you're right about that. Right.
Just to protect yourself. You just never know, man. All this stuff going on, all these actors, actresses, and definitely the actors and the politicians and the moguls. And I know Charlie Sheen is one that we actually forgot to mention because he came up again because a new person has come out, but they would rather be unidentified. But I knew exactly who they were talking about in that story. She got HIV. Who else could that be? Definitely Charlie. It had to be Charlie Sheen. That was a no-brainer. But it's just the fact that this pattern can't keep going on. At some point you got to speak up. I mean, it may cost you, may cost you money, and maybe it costs you your life. But at least that if you're standing up for not just yourself, but you're actually standing up for other people who don't have a voice, who's scared to speak up, and that give them the courage to maybe speak one day and tell their story and stop all this fucking sexual predatory acts.
You said it. You said it. We have to I pray and hope that we can, for those that are still victimized, that somehow, some way we can turn into survivors. It takes time, I know. I'm still dealing with my own stuff. I'm a survivor, but I'm still dealing with my own issues with certain things. And for some can just get over it or deal with it much quickly, and my hat goes off to them.
And I really don't think they're over it. They just put it on the back burner.
For some, yes, I believe that. And then for others, we still have a road to go. I always tell people, like, I've come such a journey, but I still have a journey to go, because I'm not gonna sit here. I suffered in silence for many years, and so it had to take me.
That's what I was saying.
Exactly. It had to take me where I have to break the silence, break the cycle. So right. So please, however we can, and I don't know, however we can, I guess I want to say support or whatever information or tools we have that we can assist with, definitely. So
I understand the whole sexual harassment part, because I've been harassed, so it's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I shut that shit down real fucking quick.
Likewise.
It's just not appropriate, man. I mean, hey, I know you can't control how people gonna feel and how what they try to do, but that's no reason to continue to push yourself on somebody that doesn't want to be pushed on. And the best thing to do is leave them alone, because that's going to turn into something else. But some men just think that everybody wants them and everybody don't want y'all.
Right. And a lot of no's mean no.
Not no yes.
The no's don't mean yes.
Oh, yes. She playing hard to get, but she mean yes. No, motherfucker. It means no.
Exactly. Exactly. So, we thank you in advance for listening to the replay. Please, you have any comments on anything, if you want to speak from experience, if you have any good advice, you want you want to leave advice, definitely leave it in comment box when it's in the comment box when this is posted up. We love feedback. We love it.
Absolutely. So I guess I will start it off with with
the Facebook. Do all Facebooks first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start off with social media, but I will begin with Facebook first, and I'm guessing you're trying to synchronize and tie that in, and then I can come back, revisit the other social media sites, and I can quote it.
Sure.
You trying to link it all in together.
Sure, yes.
Okay. All right. So, Facebook. Chit Chat Chew Show, LLC. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. Chit Chat Chew Radio Show. Make sure you join our group. Send a request. We'll make sure to add you to our group. You know, you can see updates, news, any kind of news. You know, what's going on for the show and much more. And now I'll let you tie in other Facebook pages since you said, quote, the Facebook first.
So our other Facebook is Lotus Monk, affiliate of Chit Chat Chew, which Lotus Monk Facebook, please like, follow us. That is for our LGBTQIA community as well as our allies. So again, that's Lotus Monk affiliate Chit Chat Chew show. We also have a Be Authentic Facebook, which is Be Authentic Products. Okay. Be Authentic Products. That is a Facebook page. That is a newer page. Definitely support us, like us, join us, do what you need to do with that. So you have all of our business Facebook pages / groups. So we're done with Facebook. So we're going to tie into...
I'll go ahead and name those social media sites, and then you can tie in the website and anything else. All right. Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at Chit Chat Chew Show. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We also have a Twitter at Chit_Chat_Chew. Again, at Chit_Chat_Chew. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Retweet about our show. Let it go viral. We thank you so much. We also have a YouTube. Subscribe to our channel at Chit Chat Chew Show. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications regarding our show and what we got going on with it as far as discussions. Like, share, and comment as well. We also have a SoundCloud, Make sure you follow us on SoundCloud at Chit Chat Chew Show. Has all our current shows on there. Everything is updated from the past to the recent. Make sure you keep up. We also have a Vimeo at Chit Chat Chew Show. Vimeo at Chit Chat Chew Show. Make sure you follow us on there. And you can tell them about Be Authentic. What's the Instagram and
so for Instagram, we have a Be Authentic Instagram page, which
it's an underscore in it though.
Be underscore no, which one? Be Authentic underscore. That's it. Products. Excuse me. Be Authentic underscore products is our Instagram page.
Make sure you follow us on there.
Make sure to follow us.
Don't forget the Lotus Monk Twitter.
Right. So for the Lotus, we have Lotus Monk Twitter page, which is Lotus Monk Projects. That is our Lotus Monk Projects Twitter page. Make sure you like us and follow us with that as well. We have a website, which is www.chitchatchewshow.com. Again, www.chitchatchewshow.com. It has links that you can click on, check us out. Past guests we've had on the show, or if we did not have them on the show, we played their music, but still we have their information on our website. We have soaps on our we don't have the soaps on our website, do we?
Yeah,
yes, we do. Yeah. We have our soaps. We have our one soap that's still launching. On there we have a large size and a small size soap with the prices and how, if you you're going to purchase them, thank you in advance. How you can go about doing that. What else do we have?
Tell them about the guest. If
yes,
you want to be on the show.
If you would like to be a guest, small business, whether you're a activist, advocate, liaison, a small business, a mommypreneur, a solopreneur, anything that's like-minded, big corporation. If you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, please reach out to us through our business email, which is chitchatchew_show@yahoo.com. Again, chitchatchew_show@yahoo.com. As far as for the artist, Una will let you know what's up with that.
All right. If you're an artist, whether you're a rapper, singer, spoken word, whatever along those lines, send your music to chitchatchew_show@yahoo.com. chitchatchewshow@yahoo.com. It must be quality work. That includes the content and even sound quality. So you have to be talking about something. We're looking for something dope. We're not looking for nothing that everybody else plays. We want to hear something that's either, it can fall in any of these categories. It don't have to be all at once. It could be either or. Whichever one. It could be lyrical. It could be creative. It could be real. It could be truthful. It could be socially conscious. It could be thought-provoking. Whatever it is. Whatever falls under, I'll definitely gladly listen to it. Check it out. I know Jay gonna like it. If I like it, she gonna like it. So sing good stuff, because we don't want to hear no trash. That's all I wanted to say.
So we have more to come for 2018. We're definitely going to discipline and challenge ourselves with our business, because we've been in business for 2 years. And we really appreciate all of our supporters. We really appreciate those that have been guests on our show and those that have submitted their music to be played on our show. We humbly appreciate you. We're looking to do a little bit of different things. We're definitely going to be buckling down or tightening on a lot of different things. And, you'll just have to see. So with that in mind, I thank you. I hope that you can enjoy the rest of the week. I know the Christmas holidays are coming up. If you're traveling out of town, out of the state of Georgia, definitely be careful and be safe. I know I will. I'm traveling Christmas Eve. Hopefully, Nam Yoho Renke Kyo, all of that will work out well, because there's been some incidents with Hartsfield Airport. Hopefully everything will be taken care of, back in full swing by tomorrow. But even if you're not, just, recognize, don't just celebrate the holiday when it comes around once a year. Be mindful 365 days a year. I don't do Christmas anymore. I practice Kwanzaa, and I'm going to challenge myself to put those principles in year round, not just when they come 7 days a week, the Kwanzaa principles. So I just encourage, I can't dictate, preach to you. I'm not going to do that, but just, put into practice and your faith into action, which you want to accomplish, instead of saying New Year's resolution. Start it now before 2018 come in. Because that's what I've been doing. Clean your house now. I don't mean just literally clean your house, but clean house mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Do that now, so that when 18 come in, it won't, I guess, hopefully it won't be so rough. Be kind to people. Be kind to yourself. I know we can't be, everybody. We can't. How can I explain it? Like, you just know your worth. That's what I can always say. Know your worth. Know your worth. Stop letting people walk over you. All this falling in love instantly. Everybody is wifey, husband, booed up, and you really haven't taken time to know people. Like, know your worth as a whole. Mm-hmm. So that's all I have to say before I say my ending.
I'm good.
So with that being in mind, again, enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe. Love yourself. Respect yourself. And peace, love, and hair grease.
Good night.